Hello, health education students. I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of how Fooducate works so that when it comes time to create your food log journal, you'll be able to keep track of your foods better and the nutritional value of those foods. So, the app that you will be using or the website you use is Fooducate. So, you can use the Fooducate website if you don't have a smartphone, but if you have a smartphone, a tablet, or an iPad, please feel free to use the app. It works the same way as the website would. So as you start to make your food log, it is important to understand the nutritional value of the food you eat. So Fooducate just helps you educate yourself on the different food you're eating. If you scroll through the website, it shows you just the different things that is offered. So you can see what foods are good in comparison for like a breakfast or lunch or dinner. It allows you to get a detailed product info right here, so you can see how your food is rated in regards to health, the calories per serving, whether people like it or not. It also lets you know your daily fiber, because fiber is very important to your diet. And if you scroll down, it shows you where you can go to get it for your iPhone or for your Android. So, Fooducate uses this grading system right here. Each Fooducated item that you research will have a grade, which tells you whether the food is healthy, not healthy, or if it's okay. So you can kind of gauge where your diet is at. So let's look at some foods. So let's look at this. Something I ate this morning was I ate cottage cheese. So let's take a look at cottage cheese. Alrighty, and it's loading it. So it has the different types of cottage cheese. So was it Kroger cottage cheese? Was it Lucerne cottage cheese? Was it Darigold cottage cheese? It gives you all the different options, because depending on the cottage cheese you ate, depends on the health rating or the calories. So you want to make sure that you keep track of what kind you're eating. I eat Kroger cottage cheese right here. So it says that it's a seafood, which means it's probably high in fat. Most dairy is high in fat, so it may or may not be a good food depending on the type of diet I'm looking at. I am very athletic, so I'm going to need a high protein diet. So I'm going to want to look more at the proteins rather than the fat. So if I scroll down, it brings up all the nutritional facts right here. So if I look at my nutritional facts, I can see it's 100 calories if I eat the serving size of a fourth of a cup. If you look down, it'll give you all the other nutritional facts, which we have gone over so that you can complete this food project. So we already know at this point how to analyze a food label. So if you look at this, I want a high protein diet. So let's see where my proteins are. Right here. Here are my proteins. So I am getting 12 grams of protein, which is actually a pretty decent amount of protein for my diet, just for my breakfast food. Of course, I'm going to want to accompany it with something else, because most of your meals should be between 500 and 600 calories. That's the entire meal, not the item itself. I don't recommend just eating a Big Mac to get your 600 calories per meal. So that is exactly how you do it. If you want to search a particular food, if you know the exact food you ate, the brand and all that, that's a great tool to use, is just the food search. However, you can browse the different types of food they have. So over here on your left, you can see the product categories. And over here you can see what's popular, what people are eating right now, and the most commonly researched categories. So mine is going to be breakfast. We'll go do the cottage cheese again. So here's my breakfast. It doesn't really have what I'm looking for. It says cold cereals, hot cereals, pancake, prepared breakfast, things like that, which isn't really what I'm looking for. So this probably isn't what I'm going to want to use to find my food item. However, I do know that cottage cheese is dairy, And lo and behold, here it is, right here in the right-hand top corner, cottage cheese and cheese spreads. And it brings up all the cheese spreads, all the cottage cheese spreads. And I'll scroll down till I find my Kroger cottage cheese. And once I find it, I'll click on it and I'll be able to do my analysis. So this one takes a little bit more time to go through everything just because you're getting more options. However, if you know the exact food, I really, really recommend this search food. So also with Fooducate, we won't be using the daily tips for our food log, but they're good things to know. So like food safety, how to protect yourself from salmonella, E. coli, things that can make you sick because of your foods, allergies, recipes. It has a lot of great tools you can use to improve your nutrition. Also, it has Nutrition 101. We're going to go into Nutrition 101 just for a moment. So, in Nutrition 101, it just kind of gives you the basics of what we've gone over in class. So if you have a little bit of a brain fart and you can't remember what a protein is, it kind of gives you what the info is for each of those. So you know what you're eating and why you're eating it and the benefits that come from it. And also it talks about different things that you'll have in your diet that you may not realize you're eating. So that is a great tool here for you. But mostly you'll be using the food search and the food browser. And that's why I recommend using the app over the website, because the app just mostly focuses on the food search that you'll use for your food log. So I hope this helps. Once again, I'll go over this in class, but this is just here as a resource for you in case you need help navigating this website. If you have questions in regards to the app, please talk to me. I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions, and have fun creating those food logs.